Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Shared Universe Podcast Studio. My name is Ming Chen. So, October 28th, we're at the Bellworks Studio. And Bellworks, if you've ever been here, super cool place. About to get even cooler. Super cooler.
Super cool.
Because the Super Jersey Comic Expo is coming to town. Back again. Third year.
Couple of changes.
Yeah, and I have the people behind it
Just
right
a few.
here.
Yeah.
Would you please introduce yourselves, my friends?
Stanley Kalucky.
I am Paul Brown.
I'm AJ Blair.
Amazing. And year three, gentlemen. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Most cons don't make it past the first year. If they do, they don't make it past the second year. And now you guys on the third.
And despite everything that's going on, we've still made it somehow to the third year.
And and you know, it's my fault. I feel ashamed. I have not been to one yet.
You're 12 feet
I know.
from the
I know,
show,
listen.
and you have yet to
I
make
know.
it.
I know. Listen, I blame myself.
We got Zapsik to set up before Ming's come to the show.
So plot twist: this is actually going to be the green room for the convention.
Yeah.
we're just going to let everyone hang
No,
out
dude.
in here.
No, honestly, one. I'm gonna be here this year, so finally, finally cleared the room in my super busy schedule to be here.
You are busy. I hope you're not saying that in jest, because I feel like you're in a different town every.
No,
single
literally
weekend.
every weekend at a convention. But
Running the circuit,
but listen, on October 28th, the only place I want to be is here.
Appreciate you, man. Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you.
I was planning going. Are you still alive? Are you still having fun? And just tell us everything that you want to say about this year three.
We won't say everything at this point.
Not
I
yet.
mean, we can definitely say a lot, but I definitely think that this year was a learning experience in pivoting on a dime. So, you know, if you follow the convention, you'll know that. Am I that boring already? No. He just walks away. He left. He slammed the door. This year, if anything, was, you know, challenging. Let's say big on surprises. And if you followed the convention on social media or the internet anywhere, just know us, is that, you know, there's been big changes. The first one is that the event is now upstairs in the main atrium between the two monolithic columns up here, which you may or may not have seen in the television show Severance. And that it is a free show to attend. And that was a decision that, you know, we had to make due to circumstances that came our way that we just had to get through. And if it was either get through those circumstances or the show goes away. And I think that once we learned of the circumstances, that we decided that, like, after everything that we've done with the first year getting postponed 3 times due to COVID.
3 times?
Yeah, well, it was March 21st, 2020. Then it was August 1st, 2020. Then it was March 20th, 2021. And then we finally did November 6th, 2021.
Yes.
And that the show should have gone away then because, you know, and it's good talking to you on this level because you know the inner workings of Comic-Cons.
I do.
Right? Where a lot of people do not. So think about the marketing dollar that you spend to market your Comic-Con, and then it gets pushed back.
Yeah.
And then it gets pushed back.
Right, you got to spend it all over again.
And you got to spend it all over again.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
basically the tagline for our convention is commercial success, financial disaster.
Oh, geez.
So far, right? And, you know, obviously this year with the event being free, it really does kind of take away what we call our war chest.
Sure.
To keep the show going and promote for next year. However, we see the value in keeping it going in the hopes that, hey, if we throw the biggest free Comic-Con that anyone's ever seen, maybe people will love it so much that in future years, if we have to change the model or pivot in a different way, you know, then they'll enjoy it.
Well, I mean, honestly, I feel the best marketed event is the free one because everyone will come then.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody will come.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. And we're seeing that in the free tickets that have been claimed.
Yeah.
Like I think we are just about to cross the 2,000 tickets.
we were right
That's
there.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're talking a large majority of those, probably 60 to 70% of those have gone since we announced the show was free. What was it? 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, about that.
Something like that.
Like
and
3
it was
weeks, yeah.
like, again, it was something that we did to save the show.
Yeah.
And it was circumstantial.
I appreciate that. I think the community appreciates that.
It's to build the brand bigger. So we want to do the coolest convention in the region. We don't consider ourselves in competition with anyone,
Right.
not whether it's Garden State or Terrificon
Yeah.
or Little Giant. We look up to all those conventions. Like those are good conventions that we enjoy.
Right.
We don't consider
Don't,
ourselves.
don't look up to Mitch Halleck at Terrificon
yeah.
that much. I'm kidding. I love you, Mitch.
He helps promote us and he shares our stuff. So we understand that we're kind of the new guys in the convention scene. Only been around a few years, but we don't want to take away from another con. We also don't want to feel like any con is like, oh, we're coming from. No, we want to do our own thing because this is the Middletown Comic Show on steroids. That's
Right.
what it is, right? So I mean,
and honestly, the cons you listed, they're nowhere near the area. We don't really have a con here.
No.
No, not at all.
Central
And
Jersey was a vacuum.
The
Yeah.
closest thing is
we're in Ocean County, right?
No, we're in Monmouth.
No,
Monmouth.
Monmouth. Yeah.
I'm from Atlantic County. I'm from the
Okay.
hillbilly sticks of Atlantic City.
Right,
so
right.
I-
Lesser county, Atlantic.
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Again,
Yeah.
this is all kidding, ladies and gentlemen. Just kidding.
The closest show to this area is the Old Bridge show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's a
Small.
comic show.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's
Pure
very
comics.
small.
Right. So
Very small.
when we did the Middletown show in 2018, that was the last year we did it.
Yeah.
We had Brian O'Halloran as a guest.
Yes.
And it was, I think it was free to get in and $5 to be a VIP.
I think we did 2019.
Oh, yeah, no, 1918 is when we started it.
18 was when we started.
19 is
19
when
was
we
when we
brought
brought
you
you in.
Correct. So I got lined up with these jack wagons in 2019.
Yeah.
Because I knew them from the community before.
Right.
And I came on and, my full-time job is web design, marketing,
Yep.
all that
Yep,
stuff.
yep.
So we teamed together to help. And then the show ended up doing so well that we're like, why don't we do something that is that, but just like actual comics, actual vendors, actual artists, and it's the purity of that is, I think, one of the things that I feel like we've gotten the good reputation of sticking with.
I mean, some of the people that were at our first show, like Larry Hama, he said that it was the best first year con that he's ever been to.
That was not Larry Hama.
Oh,
that was Jim Shooter.
That was Shooter, yes.
Okay.
Which I'll take the compliment from either.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Because we all know that when you make either of those two happy,
Oh, yeah.
You've done
The
something
good
right.
magic happens.
magic happens.
Magic happens,
and
for sure.
we got very good compliments from people on our first show, even though it almost went away. And I think that really just kind of, fueled us, kind of like, maybe we're onto something.
Yeah, let's keep this going.
Right, but we don't want to do a show where it's like $40 or $50 for a general admission ticket, And it's
Listen, that's tough, man. Most people bring a family of four. And I think most shows now, much to my chagrin, they charge for the kids. They charge for the kids.
I'll say this: we will never
No.
charge for children.
12,
Well,
even,
never.
Even before we had to go free, it was still 12 and under.
Yeah, which makes sense. If you got kids, they got to bring adults. They'll pay the admission. The more kids you have there, the more adults come, the more tickets you sell.
Right.
Yeah.
One hand
it's-
feeds the other.
Yeah, it's basic math. But this year, it's all free. So tell all your friends.
Right.
Yes.
This,
Even
this
if you don't
awesome
think you're
Comic-Con
gonna-
is free.
Yeah, and that's what we tell everyone, we're similar in a way to maybe something that you've never been to before.
Yeah.
Because if people have been to New York Comic Con and they've never been to, let's call it a Northeast comic show,
Yep.
right? Our VFW halls, the Moose Lodge halls, those places where you could still smell the cigarettes on the walls from the 70s, right?
Right, the old beer.
The old
stale
beer, right?
Yes.
But
Stale pretzels.
There's actually guys drinking in the bar in the
Yes.
room next
Yeah,
door
yeah.
to the
Oh,
Knights
I-
of Columbus Hall or something.
Tom's
Totally
River and Old
morning.
Bridge.
Yep.
Th-
Tom's
those are,
River and Old Bridge. You
those
see
are the
that.
ones I went to as a kid, man.
Well, it's what we tell people is that, you're probably not going to meet the guy that played Captain America in the movies at this show, but you're going to meet the guy who wrote the story that this movie was based
Right.
off of.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the cool part that ends up getting people over is that I don't want to say the normie, but the normal person who's not into comics knows New York, San Diego,
Sure.
and maybe C2E2 or something like that. Whereas this, we wanted it to be as pure of a people selling, buying, trading comic books and meeting comic book legends.
Yeah.
I mean, our slogan on our shirt last year was
Where comics
comics
come
come
first. And I mean, that's not a dig at anyone, but I don't like going into a Comic-Con and seeing a Ryobi drill booth there.
Right, or
Ryobi, if
the-
you're looking for a sponsorship, not the place to go.
Yeah,
Sorry,
or
we're not-
the guys selling solar panels and gutter cleaners.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
that's the
Bath
thing.
fitters.
This is-
bath fitters, yes.
My,
Yeah,
my,
this is
fa- my, fa- my, f- yeah, my,
everywhere.
my favorite of all that was, I think, Keystone 2018, where they had a company that would literally take a sample of your blood for DNA analysis
Okay.
and tell you what your superpower was. I'm like,
What about-
that's human genome farming. I see right through
What
it.
about 2020 when we got the meat delivery company wanting to buy a booth from us.
Oh, yeah, they want the frozen meat, kind of
Sure,
like Omaha
sure,
steaks.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're blah 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 meat supplier, and we're like, yeah, no. They're like, we'll pay double your booth rate. We're like, no.
Yeah, great. What does this have to do with comics and pop culture?
Exactly.
That's it. And when I think a few weeks ago we had our very first home improvement company asked to be a vendor,
Yes. Yeah.
which is it's endearing, and we don't ever give anyone shit, but we have a very structured
standards.
response. And
Yeah.
we say we appreciate you reaching out that you want to be part of our show. Due to the formatting of our show, it has to be within the comic book pop culture. Specifically having to be like in the Venn diagram of comics.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then we're probably gonna say thank you, but we have to pass.
Yeah.
That's why we had Jerry Lotto last year. He's active in the comic community.
He's done comics.
Yep.
I want Bob Gale, right?
Oh,
Bob,
sure.
if you're listening, Bob's agent, get back to me on Facebook, please. But my bucket list guest for this past year was Bob Gale, and the only reason that I'm allowed to go after Bob Gale because of the agreement between the three of us is
Yeah.
because Bob Gale wrote the IDW comics.
Yes. Okay.
Doesn't matter that Back to the Future is my favorite thing on the planet
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, yeah.
If he didn't write the comics or didn't have some sort of involvement in
Right. A
illustration.
connection.
Correct. So that's how kind of strict we want to be.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah,
It's hard though, man.
Very
It's
hard.
Because we're like, oh God, that person will be really good to get.
Sure,
Can't
but
do
it's
it.
like they've got no connection. So
it.
yeah. I hear you.
I feel like it's done us well, and I don't know.
Yeah.
We're,
Well,
So-
look how many people have reached out to us that are known in the industry
Yeah.
that want to get in.
That's a badge of honor for sure.
it is, and like just talking about your friend who we discussed before we went on air, Guy Dorian
Yes.
Senior. I reached out to Guy a few months ago because I'm familiar with his work because in addition to comics, I'm a huge toy person.
Yep.
And I know
Big
him
in
from
the
the
toy
Bendems.
community.
And I know
Huge.
that now he's also doing the major bendies
Yep.
for the major. And so I reached out to him, and the more and more I started talking to this guy, no pun intended, Guy Dorian Sr., he knows everybody.
Yeah.
And it is literally him who got us Walt and Wheezy.
Yes.
If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have them.
Right.
If it wasn't for him, we might not have Scott Hanna. And if it wasn't for him, we might not have been able to get a hold of Larry Hama again.
Right.
So that's why we're doing an entire Good Alien alley
Yeah.
for him. Like,
Big shout out to Good Alien. Huge shout out.
well, it's the new frontier of IP development. You know, if you want to do a soundbite for him.
Yeah.
And I've had great
we
conversations
just
with him.
did.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Guy.
That'll be $500.
And Guy will be there.
Yeah, Guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He will be
yeah.
there.
And that's the thing is that we've gotten so many compliments off of what we've done so far. And listen, down to brass tacks, we're literally falling on the sword this year.
Oh yeah.
We have to
100%.
to keep the show going
Yeah.
at least for this year. We
No.
are falling on the sword. But we know that if we stick with it, we're probably going to end up building the coolest convention the area has ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned VFW Hall, Stale Beer. We Bellworks. We are. If there's an opposite to the VFW Hall, this would be it. It's
this
a
place
beautiful
is-
facility.
It's
and,
timeless.
And the trade-off for having the free admission is you're up in the main atrium, which is highly visible.
If you've never seen it, you can't explain it.
No, I
If
can't.
you've never been in here, you cannot explain the sheer
Awesomeness.
Yeah.
We just tell everybody, you can get anything you want to do. You can do it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to be on a podcast? Sure. I know
Yeah.
a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
there's
want
You want a
studio
pizza?
there.
50 feet away.
You want to
Right,
get a haircut while somebody's in the show? Go ahead.
And then send your kid to a VR studio? Yeah, go ahead. You're
Right.
good.
Plays
There's a
indoor
jewelry
golf.
store.
Jewelry store, yes. There's a
So when you
a
spend too much on
clothing store.
comics, you can buy your wife something.
I saw a plastic surgery center here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I never saw that before. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
literally everything. This is like, it's like the by and large of indoor atrium spaces.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
for sure. And if you want a sneak peek, if you've never been here, you can go to bell.works. That's the
Bell.works,
website.
yeah.
Or you can watch the TV show Severance, which is shot here. And they stripped it down for the show.
They did, but it was so eerie. I was like, that's where we have our comic.
Yeah,
Con.
that's our
That's where we have our comic.
Well,
Con.
remember
I
the
was-
first time the very first time we came here, they were filming that other show with Clancy Brown and Donald Faison downstairs in the pre-function
No,
room.
they were filming
Emergence?
Severance.
It
down
was
there.
it was Severance.
It was Severance.
Oh,
yeah.
it was Severance.
They were filming while
It
we.
was that long ago?
Yeah, we were on set for Severance.
Yeah, we were on
looking
set.
at this venue.
Why did I think we were on set for Emergence?
That's what it was. Emergence.
Oh.
Emergence. Similar titles. Emergence is what.
We live in 3 opposite ends of the
Yeah.
state, so you can tell we
There,
don't get
there's that, but Tom Holland was here about a year ago, maybe less.
his little ticket booth was right out front there.
Yeah, they shoot a lot of stuff here. Yeah, it's pretty
what-
cool, right?
That's like
it's good energy. But it's
not
good energy here.
There is. It's not just the history of the building, which is hard to tell people. Depending on how. No, it's hard to get someone to care when you say, "Hey, the transistor was invented in this building,"
Yeah.
and they're like, "What?" I was like, "The thing." You know, the thing that revolutionized electronics.
Yeah, the
It
thing
was-
that like makes this run and this run
Yes,
and
it was
basically everything.
It was
yeah.
invented in this building.
Yeah, for sure.
And what's cool is that we've had some guests come by where their parents worked in here when it was Bell Laboratories, and the event space downstairs used to be the cafeteria and the employee
Yep.
dining room. So people are like, I haven't been down here in 30 years. And I love the venue. We are all kind of crossing our fingers and hoping for the best that the show goes off this year without a hitch, in hopes that we can just kind of build on what we've built so far. We got our fingers crossed.
Well,
man.
gentlemen, I say, I believe in the saying, everything happens for a reason. And I think this happened for whatever reason. I can't explain it.
Right.
But, in terms of growth and visibility, I think it's great for the con. So
Huge.
Yeah.
And listen, all of us have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
All of us have families. And I think that if you're not too in tune with the event space, people might think that we live off of this convention when it's literally completely the opposite. Like, if anything, doing this convention takes away from our jobs and our families, but it's really what we love.
Well,
Who
it's from the
knows?
heart, man.
It's
Yeah,
from the
it's
heart.
from the heart.
And who knows? Maybe someday we'll be able to, I don't know, make it bigger, I'd love to do a weekend,
Oh, sure.
Because it is hard. It does limit us.
Yeah.
With a one-day show, like Bill Sienkiewicz is not going to fly out from California
Right, for one day.
for 7 hours a show,
and then fly back.
Even though I'm sure if he came down to it, because apparently he's good friends with, guess who? Guy Dorian Senior. That it could possibly happen, but we're kind of limited. I think the furthest person we have coming is Stephanie Iskander, the toy designer.
Yeah.
She's coming from Utah. And that's a long flight. That's a long one for anyone to really
Oh,
do.
sure. And, flights ain't cheap. And you
Flights
gotta fly these guys out. Part of the deal.
Yeah, and I mean, and as you see, unfortunately, as time goes on, a lot of our heroes from the Bronze Age and the Silver Age,
sure.
they're unfortunately
Yeah, they're passing on.
they're passing on. So, I mean, I'm hoping that we have a very eclectic mix of new, classic, legendary, and up and coming. You know? Got any good comments? Anyone trashing us from?
No, not at all.
you
Michael
I saw,
Sammartino, can't wait for SJCE. I like the acronym,
yeah.
Super Jersey Comic Expo.
I saw Stuart Greenberg comment.
That's
Good old
Stu,
Dr. Stu.
Yeah.
Dr. Stu, good friend of the family.
I finally met Dr. Stu last year at the show after knowing him quote unquote
Yeah.
for 6 years. Good old Dr. Stu.
Yeah, he'll be here. Say hey, some of my favorite people.
That
yeah,
man
for
is-
sure.
has
So,
a heart of gold right there.
Yeah, Christopher Burris, 3 years. I love you all. So,
Well.
yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and yes, and finally, I will be here this year if that matters to you.
Holding you to
anybody
it this
out
time.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Hold me, nail me to it. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
No matter.
Partly
Yeah.
from NRG. Just
I'll give you this as a precursor to you being
Okay,
there.
welcome- welcome, baby.
They didn't have any other bags.
Okay.
At the place
What
where
is
I got.
okay?
I know that you're a man of culture.
I am.
So I got you a delicious.
Delicious. All right,
So-
listen. You guys know me too well.
So
This is a bottle of White Cap Old Fashioned cocktail.
so I
From
know
our
you're a man
friends
of you're a man of culture.
I am.
So
I
there
love-
is one and only legal distillery in Atlantic City ever, and it's Little Water. And it's a pre-batched old fashioned that just throw it over ice and enjoy it. I wanted to come say thank you for letting us on.
Oh, of
and
course.
stuff like that.
You know me too well,
Well,
gentlemen.
No, I know you're a man of culture,
Yes.
and men of culture like old fashions.
Yes.
And while I'm not big on pre-batched, that is very good.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my
and,
nightcap.
yeah, if I'm not mistaken, if you maybe about 3 o'clock, the Barbella should be open. Correct? Do we know this?
Yeah.
If not, if you're about over 21 and you need a drink, I have stuff in here.
Yeah.
You got to befriend me first.
Sure,
But,
yeah.
Or
Well, we were hoping to do some type of Monster Mash costume party. I love the fact that, we do, we pay a professional photographer to come in,
Yeah.
and we do free cosplay photos,
which is also huge.
right? But it's on Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
And they're doing Trick or Treat at Bell Fresh Market down here on the turf as well too. So that's why the official show poster is an old Tales from the Crypt poster that we redid. Was it Keith Williams and Bob Sharon did Silver Surfer #3 with Mephisto on the front.
Yeah.
We can't go full Halloween, but Halloween's my favorite holiday of the year. So let's do a little bit of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean I think that overall the pluses definitely outweigh the minuses on the show that we had to go through. A couple things stung here and there, but we're super excited.
Yeah. Can you tell me about some of the guests?
Oh, we're going to talk about guests? Jeez.
Oh man.
Yeah, because they're
important.
They are a draw, and you got some really great creators coming in.
I need to rest my voice for a moment. I've been talking 80% of the time.
That's
man.
all the time.
That's true.
So, you want to start alphabetical order since we?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Well, Bob Budiansky's coming back this year. He was with us last year. Presented by the
Boom, the Collectible Conservatives.
Collectible Conservatives.
The godfather of Transformers.
Yes. Also did a lot of great work too. Sleepwalker as
Created
well.
Sleepwalker, yeah.
He worked on
A lot of the Ghost Rider towards the end with
Yes.
DeMatteis.
and there's also it's a newer, not a newer book, but it's like a newer key. The Marvel superheroes, one of the like seasonal specials that has the first chronological appearance of Rogue in it. Jesus. Because it was supposed to.
Yeah,
The
no.
backstory on it is, it was supposed to be Ms. Marvel 25, but it got canceled at 23. So I know he's on the cover of that.
And he edited all of Secret Wars 2 as well, didn't he?
I believe it was that. He's also on the Iceman miniseries.
Yeah. God, I mean, so you want me to tell you one of the coolest things that's ever happened at this con was
Please.
When Amy Chu messages me on Facebook,
Yes.
and says, "Hey, I'm local. I was wondering if you had spots at your con."
Oh, yeah.
Can I
She,
tell you
like-
how high I shrieked sitting like me? I was like, "Amy Chu just messaged me!" Like I lost it, man.
Yeah, she messaged me too, and followed me on Instagram. I'm like,
It was so like
really?
the fact that we've made it onto the radar, even of let's call, and I don't want to like try and put anyone on a pedestal, but creators of that level that were even on their radar, like, dude, you can't.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
You know, like it's crazy. The fact that I can technically call Larry Hama, never before noon, by the way, never
Yes.
ever before noon.
No.
Unless you're family.
Yeah. And if we need something or we're doing something, like this is the type of stuff that I never dreamed of reading comics, when I was a kid. Bringing in people like Mike DiCarlo. Dude, Death in the Family, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like,
and even all this stuff on Batman.
And
The
they're
whole-
redoing it.
yeah.
The announcement at
The announcement
New York.
at New York, where they're now going to produce an issue where Robin survives.
Yep.
right, the alternate ending to
Yes.
Death in the Family. Yeah. And, I mean, dude, like, look at like some of the names, like Rick Leonardi,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099. Scott Hanna, who's probably done more Spider-Man work than anyone combined that you could even think of, man. It's just like
Stephanie, as we touched on before,
Stephanie,
for the toy people.
Yeah.
incredible toy designer, Cabbage Patch Kids, Gem and the Holograms, WWF wrestling buddies, like
Yeah, our childhood doesn't exist without people like this.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Guy
right?
Dorian with the WWF Bendems that
Yeah.
are now having a huge comeback with the Nostalgia and the Major Wrestling Figure podcast doing their Major Bendies.
What's crazy about Guy Dorian is, I'm going to bring him up again, is
Oh,
that
yeah.
there's a certain amount of things he gets credit for, which are amazing, which he's done, but then it's like an iceberg. This is what he publicly takes credit for that he's done,
Right,
and
and
then there's below the water. Some of the things that I've learned just over the past couple months in talking with him is unfathomable what he's done
Yeah.
and what he's contributed to, and he's just fine with just doing it, and he doesn't, need to be Mr. I'm on the front of everything.
Yeah.
And that level of humility with also like his resume is unheard of.
Yeah.
It's unheard of in this day and age. And I have a lot of respect for that, not knowing the guy for very long. That's why he's probably one of the people that I'm most excited to meet at the show, probably next to Walton Weezy, who
Yeah.
I feel Walt, if you're watching, number one, I hope you're feeling better because I heard he's a little under the weather right now.
Yes.
But
Yep, so I'm in your Comic Con though.
Yeah.
Having a grand old time. Yep,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I apologize for how many Facebook messages I've sent you over the past 5 years saying, "Hey, Mr. S, hey, Walt,
Hey, it worked. It worked.
Apparently,
It worked.
Apparently, with some help from Guy Dorian.
Dorian.
Yes. Thank you, Guy.
And,
Again.
We've said his name a couple times, right? But Larry Hama is returning
Yeah.
this year. I mean, he was one of our
Talk about it.
first guests
Larry
for the
Hama,
2021 show. It was actually his first con back
Right.
after the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, his resume goes, we don't really need to, everybody knows what he's done.
Yeah, and let's be honest here. Larry doesn't mince words.
Yeah.
He does not.
If you are not up to snuff, if you didn't put in the work, if you're subpar, he's going to let you know it. he's going to let everyone else know it, and he's not going to come back.
No.
Yeah.
So you guys are definitely doing something
Yeah.
right. I've hung out with the man. We've podcasted with the man, seen him at shows, dined with the man. I have many stories. And, you guys are doing so. Congratulations.
His candor,
You- yeah.
his honesty is the boulder from Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
you will not escape his honesty and
No.
his true feelings.
Yeah.
And again, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know?
Do we want to jump over to the G.I. Joe 1 now or talk about that later?
You know what? Yeah, let's touch on that.
Well, it's just- it's more-
What's this?
So what we're doing is thanks to our amazing sponsors at Hakes Auctions. Everybody who RSVPs online, and you have to RSVP to the show online for
Yes.
your free ticket, is going to get entered into a giveaway that we're doing of a CGC 9.8 copy of G.I. Joe #1.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
$800.
Yeah, and rising. I mean, let's be honest.
And rising.
Yeah.
That book's not going down.
No, it's ebbed and flowed a little during the end of the pandemic, but Hakes is probably, they've been amazing working with us so
Yes.
far. And part of it, they were like, hey, would you like to do a giveaway of some sort? And I'm like, sure.
Yep.
And I thought that, maybe we'd buy a book from them or do something because we try not to ask too much
Yeah.
of the people that get involved with this.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we might have something. And I went there and I saw it in person. I was like, oh! So, it's free. So meaning if you go online and you RSVP for a free ticket, show up and you basically just check in at the Hakes booth and you get your ticket. And then at 3:00 we're pulling the name. And
That's my first stop as a
you
G.I.
do-
Joe fan.
You do not have to be present though to
no,
win
and
it.
that's the
Okay.
thing is that
Yeah.
we're going to pull the name, and then a week later, if nobody claims it, then we're going to go live on Hakes' social media or our social media.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Pull the winner.
And then pull another winner.
Okay. I mean, you want to go to the Hakes booth. Just I don't know if they're handing out the Hakes catalog for their next auction.
I think they're actually sending out the new Hakes catalog probably like a few days before our show.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're going to have the new catalog.
Okay, that
at the
catalog's
show.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love
catalog's
catalog.
awesome.
It's like circling a JCPenney catalog when you were a kid.
It's
I
like
love that.
yeah, it's like trying to get your like dream Christmas present, your Christmas toy.
G.I. Joe mail-aways when you were a kid. They
Right,
would come in the
except
white boxes.
They're
with
like
no,
super rare collectibles. Like,
yeah, they're worth so much money now.
Oh
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we touched on Scott and
Yeah.
Rick already, and then Rudy.
I would love to. I would love to talk about how influential and how much of a mentor Carl Potts.
Oh my God.
Has been. I believe that with how many people he's mentored, specifically like we're talking like in the early to mid '90s with Jim Lee and some others, it's like he really. These, like I said, these are the people that might not be the ones in the movies, but they're the ones that wrote the stories and created the
Yeah.
characters that the movies are about.
Right.
And I love the movies. Don't get me
Oh, yeah.
wrong, but man, oh man,
Rudy Nebres, he was
Rudy Nebres, his work on
86.
Vampirella and Conan and all like the illustrative stuff. Some of
Yeah.
his work is unlike anything anyone else has ever done.
and he's 86, right? And he's still
correct.
doing shows all the time. He was at Garden State. He's very active still. Carl Potts Epic Illustrated is, he was on that.
Ken Wheaton with Bongo Comics, and The
Oh, yeah.
Simpsons, and everything like that. You know, Keith Williams and his run on John Byrne's sensational She-Hulk, and it keeps going. Like I'm looking at the list, and then I look at our list and I see like the unsung hero of Marvel Comics, Bob
Good
Sharon.
old Bob Sharon.
Bob Sharon, the man who has colored more pages of Marvel Comics than any human being in history, and that
Not an exaggeration
No,
either.
we designated him our very first and only forever guest. So no matter how long this goes, no matter where we go,
Every year he's back.
Bob Sharon will have a spot at our show because
Amazing.
he's so humble and he's so kind, and I like the work that he put ASM 300 aside.
Okay.
Right? Obviously, probably one of his most notable issues. All of the other issues that he's colored and brought vivid life to, it's just
He did a coloring on some of the Dark Phoenix run. He did the Iceman miniseries. He's done
I'm gonna say
it's
say
crazy.
he did roughly 61% of all Bronze Age books.
Probably
He's just-
close.
You go like on his Comic Vine and look at his Bob Sharon is credited with 3,461 issues. Credited.
You're going to be
Just credited.
You're gonna if
insane.
you're going to read it, you're going to be there for a long time.
Yeah, and that's the type of stuff. And he's
That's like
never he's never once asked anything
With-
anything from us at all.
Right.
Except for like last year, he had like something going on with his knee, and he asked for us to help him in from his car, and that was
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big deal.
But he's just so nice, and so many people come to see him, and no pretension whatsoever,
Right.
no ego to him. So we were like, that's why we gave him that designation. Like, do we want to do something for him?
Yeah.
And
Well, with Bob too, when he told me this at Garden State, that after everything happened with the crash in the 90s, he got very bitter towards anything having to do with comics. Well, in 2018, he made his return to doing shows at our Middletown show.
Yeah.
He was our first like big guest, I guess the best way you can put it, for a small show like that.
And it was his first show back.
It was his first show back, and he stuck with us through that.
Yeah, ever since.
Ever
So,
since he's been.
That type of loyalty is,
Yeah.
I don't even want to say loyalty, but that type of camaraderie
Yeah.
Yeah.
is really rare, especially.
And for a guy who has worked on so many big books, he charges $2 a signature.
Yeah, it's
Nothing,
It's
nothing is $2. A
Nothing.
Wawa coffee is
Yeah.
$2.45.
Right, yeah.
Like-
you can't get anything for $2. So
I mean,
and,
it's
get,
crazy.
hey, get your volume. Get 10 books and bring them to the Super Jersey Comic Expo.
Well, and that's why
Get
every
them
year as
signed.
well, too, when we have our special edition poster. Before this year, it was the VIP poster, but now since we don't have a VIP ticket, what we decided to do was we had Bob and Keith do the Silver Surfer 3. What we're doing, and they don't. We try to come to an agreement with these guys on what the value of it is,
Yep.
and then always like, I'm just going to do it for the show. So what we're doing is we're only getting them made up to I think 150.
150, yeah.
And when they get to the show, we're handing them each a stack of the prints, and we're saying sell these for $20 a
Yep.
piece.
Yeah.
And everything goes to them.
Yes.
They are
Yep.
keeping it. That sort of thing, because it's like I don't know. I still don't know the what's the word, the comfort zone between what are you doing to help someone and what are they going to take as an insult. And like that line
Oh,
can
sure.
be very
It's
thin.
a thin line. Yeah.
It's a thin line. So we're just like, here, you guys are amazing. Just take this and
As
do
a
it.
thank you
Yeah.
for doing this for us. Like last year, Bob colored our poster last year.
Yeah,
Yep.
Daredevil 2.
The reimagining of Daredevil 2.
No, and it's I don't know, man. I think we're on to something. I don't know. I think we're really on to something.
So wait, so next year's the redone Avengers 4.
well,
You know what? That
we did do it for Middletown
We did do it
Comp,
for
but
Middletown.
I
Oh, yeah,
designed it, so it doesn't count.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That was before we paid people to design. stuff.
Or X-Men 4.
I was on that's
X-Men
Or
4.
X-Men 4.
Not Omega Red.
Okay,
Yeah.
we could do that.
The
We'll take a look
Scarlet
at
Witch
important. And that's, if you notice, that's our thing every year. Fantastic Four, the VIP poster was Fantastic Four #1.
Yeah.
I designed that, but then we brought in real artists to do Daredevil 2, Silver Surfer 3, and every
I
year-
noticed the trend. Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. And
super
again,
cool.
and we've existed in the same space for many years.
Yeah.
The very first time I think I actually met you was when I was on Comic Book Men
Yep.
years
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
But we've always kind of existed again in this Venn diagram in the same space, in the same ether. But it, to me, even now, it's still so cool that I get to sit across the table and talk to someone who I watched every episode of that damn show
Thank you.
no less than
Thank
5
you.
times.
And you're on it, so you're alumni.
Right,
Yes.
technically.
That's
And-
the
alumni.
episode I always skip is when he
right. Season 5, episode
Well,
9. Don't worry
that's
about it. I
your
don't keep
that's
track.
your fault.
I'm
That's
just mess.
your fault.
But no, to me, this is the type of stuff that's cool. Is that, last year I picked up John Beatty from the airport and we went to go get dinner. And I just got to sit and talk to him. And it was a few weeks after his mother passed away
Yeah.
last year. And we got to talk a lot about loss, about life. And I'm like, I'm talking to fucking John
Yeah.
Beatty about this
Yeah.
stuff. What is going on with my life? And that's the excitement of that type
Just to
of stuff.
deviate for 1 second,
Okay.
we have to shout out Christian because he drew last year's
Oh,
poster.
Christian Spirito Santo.
Yes.
Yeah, he's another local artist to New Jersey. He did our VIP poster last year that Bob colored. He's an artist again this year. Probably one of the more prolific local artists, and that's the key. What if Christian's sitting next to this guy? Maybe this guy sees what he's doing, and maybe he gets some other opportunity. For us, we want the vendors, the sponsors, the artists, and the special guests, everyone to kind of interweave, because you never know what type of opportunity
Yeah.
could come from that.
While you're sharing universes, perhaps.
Oddly enough, that would be the correct terminology, I believe,
Okay.
there.
Well, we still got 3 more guests to touch on.
Yes, please.
We got 3 more.
My voice is
and,
going. You can go for
I
it.
mean, Keone Young, who is being presented by Comic Nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Comic Nights is also bringing other stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
We've
do
got
we
some-
wanna-
I mean, so
Yeah, Keon, you might know as the voice of Storm Shadow from the
Shadow.
G.I. Joe comics. He was also in Deadwood.
Mr. Wu.
as
Sons of
Mr. Wu.
Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Also, a prolific Comic-Con guest and a great guy. And
Yes.
I've met him several times. So,
Yes.
well done.
We are willing.
getting him in.
We are also willing to go on record to say that there was definitely a bit of a miscommunication
Oh, yeah.
between all of us
Yes.
and him / Comic Nights at first, where we definitely, because we try to make as few mistakes as possible.
Sure.
But we definitely bobbled something on the beginning there
Yeah.
to whether he was coming or whether he was
Okay.
not, and it was just literally a miscommunication.
Okay,
So
but he is coming.
He
Oh,
is
he's
coming.
coming, 100%,
He is
yeah.
coming, but I wanted to go on record to, if he or Ahmad from Comic Nights
Yeah.
is watching, say, sorry about that little F
Yeah.
up, but it
Okay.
was just
All good.
all
We're
of
all
us
good.
trying to
No harm, no
communicate,
foul.
and we got
Yeah, you should see our group text. It's like one person says one thing and then somebody else deviates to
sure.
something
Yeah.
else.
You
and
don't
it's
want to
just
see it
like-
because it's green because he has an Android.
Yeah, that's also true too.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Would you be interested in being partner in a comic?
well, I have an iPhone first of
Can
all.
you
so,
do?
You've
Can
already
you?
made the first hurdle.
Well,
Right,
but
and I
can
dri-
he do a layout
Can
like
he
he
do layout?
does?
Yeah, you good with CAD design?
I could figure it out.
Because that man
Sold.
is a wizard.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Walt Weezy.
We talked about what we
We did talk about
Briefly,
Walt Weezy.
yeah.
Hey, you can talk about him even more.
We
'cause
have
they're-
so real quick, we haven't talked about Dave Ryan.
Oh, Dave.
War of
Oh
the
my God.
Independents. War of the Independents. Another
Yeah.
great local artist who lives 5 minutes away.
Who showed
10 minutes away.
2021, literally like 2 days before.
Yeah, we added. I felt bad because we added him as a special guest.
Yeah.
Like I kid you not, the week of the show in our first
2021,
event,
yeah.
and I've always felt bad that I felt like he kind of got glazed over because he's
no.
such a nice guy.
No, he's
amazing
in,
work.
but,
yeah, and
A gentle giant, because he is.
he's a big man.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not a small man, but
Yeah.
he's a big man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely like got he's I would not want to run into him in a bar.
Yeah.
Where I've insulted someone in front of
and
him.
then- Ronnie Ramos.
Rodney Ramos, dude. Let's talk about that cover from Toxic Avenger
Toxic
1
Avenger 1,
back in the
that's-
day.
yeah.
Now, have you seen how much that book has exploded with the new release of the? Is it a show or is it a movie? I can't remember.
All
think
I
it's
know
a-
is Peter Dinklage.
Peter
is in it.
Dinklage. Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't it crazy how that ebb and flow works?
Yeah.
I'm getting
New
one.
Jersey's own Peter Dinklage.
New
is,
Jersey's own
now
Peter
in
Dinklage is now.
Toxic Avenger, Jersey's own superhero. So yes.
I'm getting that signed by him at our show.
Alex Segura just got announced to be on the new Dick Tracy
Yes.
that's coming out from Mad Cave Studios in New York. And that's the thing. I don't know, man. I am so jazzed up about this year's show. I really
it's
am.
crazy.
I'm just I am over the moon about it. The last minute edition of Walton Weezy was
Oh my
again.
God.
It's like bucket list. It was
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
since before the show was a thing when we were still Middletown and planning what would we call our big convention, what we do. They've been on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the fact that Guy Dorian Sr. helped us get
Thank you, Guy. Yet
if,
again.
if we're paying him by name mention,
yeah, by the word.
yeah, he owes me a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you some of the vendors? So there will be comic books at the Super Jersey
A
Comic
little bit.
Expo.
That
Just a
is the
little bit.
basis. So
Yes.
we always wanted it to be the bait. Like you shouldn't have to look for comics in a Comic Con.
No.
You should be able to walk in the door and go, there
Comics,
they are.
comics. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, we've got.
Gary and Spiro from Absolutely Awesome, who are some of the most tenured comic dealers that you will see at all. They were at, I give them all the credit in the world. They were at New York last weekend and they had a big setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they are
Gary
really dug
brings-
in like ticks when it comes to doing shows, man.
He brings everything silver and bronze from back issues to big time stuff.
Yeah.
Love the dig.
Oh yeah, the
we've
dig, the
got-
flip, the
Yeah.
Who else? We've got comic relief from Tom's River.
Comic Relief.
Anthony.
Comic
he's-
Shop in Tom's River. Yeah, coming.
He's very excited every time I go in there because that's my local shop. I gotta start getting ready. I got so much to get ready.
He'll start getting ready on Thursday afternoon.
yeah.
Pretty
but you have
much.
2 days to get ready. Yeah.
But
That's
he's-
about where we're at too.
Will DeMonte,
yeah.
we're the
Yeah.
same. Will DeMonte, the comics king, he goes over, does shows all over the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like our age too. He's kind of one of the more younger, sprightly,
Right.
Yes.
got some fire left in him type guys. He's always good for incredible bargains. That's my thing. Is that like I very rarely buy keys anymore. I was very fortunate that I was collecting for long enough that I got most of my keys before whatever mysterious pandemic spike happened.
Oh my,
Right? Like, and so now I'm still just filling the holes in my runs, filling the holes. And I will say this whether you go to Bill Bede in Woodbury or whether you go to like one of the Welcome Back Comics, like quick sell shows or whatever down by Camden, New Jersey, Philly area is the epicenter of the universe for $1 to $5 bins. Nowhere else on the planet can you do it. And it's all these little honey holes. All these little honey holes of places, and that's what I like about our show is a lot of these people who do that at the smaller events or at their own comic shops come to our show to do. And we get questions all the time. What kind of comics are going to be there? I'm like, what kind do you like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
literally everything.
How much are they? They start at
JP's
probably
bringing
$1.
Golden Age.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have Golden Age
Yeah.
to modern. I mean, John Paul, JP, as some people might know him,
Yep.
who runs the Clifton.
He's been running shows in North Jersey 2 a
As,
month.
as
for-
long as
I've
Stan has
alive.
been alive,
Yes.
just to give you an
Probably
idea of how
longer than Stan's been.
No, it is. It's since I've been
Clifton.
alive. We've talked
Clifton
about it.
was
Yeah.
He made JP feel really old one day.
Well, it's the shows like his that gave birth to what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We wanted to take a show like his that is like $3 to enter or something.
Clifton's
Depends on the
five.
show.
Yeah, Clifton's
Yeah.
Whoa,
five.
whoa,
I think.
5. Whoa, calm down.
Yeah.
I know.
It's 2023. We got inflation.
I know, yeah,
$5.
inflation.
Yeah.
$5.
But it's his type of show that we wanted to just expand on.
Yeah.
You know, and
Right? We got Mike Williams, Jack's Comics.
Jackson Comics. Yep.
He's great vendor. If you like to dig, he's one of the. He's
Yeah.
he's
That's what
very
we
good.
want. We want people to come in and dig.
Yeah. Comics Elite.
Oh,
They're
God.
bringing a massive
Elite
setup.
Elite Comic Services. Yes, they haven't been vending for that long, have they?
No, I
it's
thought
only-
they said they changed the name.
They changed names.
they changed
got-
names.
It used
That's
to
right.
be
that's-
Shaw Collectibles.
Yeah.
Shaw Collectibles. That's right.
We have a
That's right.
CGC facilitator. We're very fortunate that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, great.
Oh,
Last
yeah.
minute,
Okay.
Yeah.
down to the wire, but we got
I mean,
one.
if you
and
saw
it's-
our
Okay,
Facebook
cool.
and
Shoot,
Instagram
I
posts,
might-
you'll
I might have
know.
I might have a couple books to bring down.
Well, it's a guy named Brandon, and he's been in the industry for a very long time. He was with other companies before, and now he started his own. And he just got the 100% okay
Yeah.
at New York this weekend because he was
Oh,
with
wow.
everyone.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
So this will be his show launch where he's our facilitator and
right.
signature witness.
Bring your keys down. Get
Bring
them
the
graded.
keys, yep.
Get them graded.
Is his company doing the pressing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is.
He's amazing at comic
Phenomenal.
pressing. If you believe,
great.
I know some people don't believe in comic pressing and cleaning, but he is incredible at it. He
And
is
he's worked
very-
on
Yeah,
numerous things.
you should see if you go to his social media. He has examples of stuff he's worked on.
early Flash books,
Very
early
good.
Wonder Woman. Just
Yeah,
books
that's
you
awesome.
never hold usually.
He did a job on a Amazing Spider-Man 129 that looked like it was curled up into a ball.
Saw that
Yeah.
one, yeah.
And-
Spine roll like crazy.
And
It's
it literally
perfect.
looked like somebody crunched it into a ball and then
Yeah.
tried to flatten it back out.
Yeah.
And he made this thing look
pristine.
Wow.
beautiful.
Okay.
So that's the thing. And
that's
then,
cool. That's
then
great.
There are toy dealers. Like,
Yes.
but you're not going to find 50 booths with Funko Pops.
Right.
We will allow
Yeah.
3, 4 at the
Right.
here
Collector's
and there.
crate.
Collector's crate.
They'll have Funkos,
Great hodgepodge.
statues.
Statues.
They'll have for your Star Wars fans out there. I know for a fact because I've bought a couple from her.
Yeah.
They have early vintage collection figures that haven't been re-released 19 times yet.
And then for our generation, they've only done one show in 6 years, and it was ours last year. And it's action figures galore, and they are like it's our generation of action figures.
Okay.
Like
G.I. Joe, Transformers,
GI Joe,
Ninja Turtles.
TMNT,
Thundercats,
yeah, like
Silverhawks.
it's
Mask.
like let's call 84 to 95 is their
Okay.
specialty.
Yes.
And no one's really doing it like
Yeah.
that. So they'll have some really nice high end like preservationist level.
Yeah, that old Visionaries figure I'm looking for. They might have it. Okay,
10,
cool.
10 back soft head, Michelangelo.
Yeah,
TMNT,
yeah.
That sort
Oh,
of stuff.
Playmates. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is a variety, but the focus will always be mainly on comics with a nice variation that ebbs and flows in between comics and collectibles and toys and things like that.
Tobias will be there.
Tobias, Dr. Choppa.
Yeah, have you ever seen the comic collages?
Oh
Like
yeah,
the
no,
3D comic collage?
Tobias Kodachrome. Yes.
Kodachrome.
Yes, Tobias.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. No, I've got a commission he's working on right
Same.
now,
Yep.
actually.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Last year he
Yep.
surprised us because none of us knew about it. He
Give us a little. Yeah, it was
a
awesome.
little one that had our flyer from the first year.
Yeah.
the guest cut
with
out
the
and
guest
everything.
cut out,
Yeah.
just as like a commemorative thing for
And,
everything we went
the
through.
show floor on the background.
The show floor in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does incredible work. So
Incredible, yeah. And I aspire to ever have that level of craftiness. To
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's
he's-
just like-
it's prolific too. and
he gives old comic books new life.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are you guys looking for? Comic wise, me, I'm right now trying to collect every What If issue.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
From the ones that came out.
I'll pull those.
Come see me. Come see me.
Oh yeah. Just in case anyone didn't realize, these two jerks are also dealers at the show.
Okay, so you'll be selling.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this
Wow,
guy's
hey, man, you
this
can't
guy,
throw a show and not sell your own stuff, man.
well, tell that to
Like,
me,
come on.
who's still trying to figure that out.
You could. You
How
just
mu-
refuse to.
I don't want to sell my stuff.
You would put us all to shame if you
Yeah.
broke down one day.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to my kids. How many issues are you away from complete? Are we talking every What If? Are we talking from what was it, 75
something like that.
Yeah, all the older ones. The newer ones I don't really care about.
Okay,
but
all right, I
you know
wasn't
what I'm
sure.
talking about.
Just
The ones
volume
that-
one
the
and
ones that
volume
were-
two.
Yeah, the ones that are out when I was a kid. So yeah.
Gotcha. How far are you away, you think?
I don't. I lost count because there's some I buy doubles. I can't remember. I'm bad at catalog.
That
Don't
sounds
look at me
like
like
somebody
that.
like that.
I just sold this guy like a full long box of comics. Like, apparently these are all doubles, and there's like a Secret Wars 8 in there, and I'm like, I don't
First
know.
Ultron.
Yeah,
there
first
was,
Ultron,
First
it's-
Star Fox.
It happens.
It happens.
Oh,
It
yeah.
happens.
It happens.
I'm currently working on my personal favorite run of the X-Men from '94 to 142.
Nice.
Slabbed.
Yeah. Ooh,
I
man.
actually have, and it's the right time to come into it. I have a
Yeah.
Dazzler coming back.
Ooh, nice.
For myself. It's coming back in 8.0. I thought it was gonna be higher, but that one's sticking with me. But I don't know what you're working on.
Oh.
You're in Spidey.
I'm in
Spidey, yeah.
Spider-Man.
1 to 100 I'm doing. So,
Wow.
yeah, all slab. Yeah.
Or FF 1 to 10. 'cause
oh, yeah,
you already-
FF 1 to 10, because I have the one signed.
by Kirby.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the one, wasn't that the
No,
one?
that was the milestones. We were
Yeah,
talking
that
about
was
that
the
before.
the one that we
Yeah.
brought on your first year
Yeah,
with you
that was the
here,
milestone.
the
signed
milestone
by
edition.
Kirby and Stan.
Yes.
Got it.
I
yeah.
sold that and I bought a number 1. It was coverless and it's missing the first wrap, but it's signed by Kirby. So, and that was JP's childhood book.
It's been so long, and
It's
so
got
I have.
multiple.
Yeah, I can't even, dude. I
Yeah.
have my CLZ
Yeah.
app, and then I built my own room in my house where I just kept buying. So
Right.
I'm gonna go very, very quality over quantity
Sure.
on this because
Here's what Paul's looking for.
see if you can guess.
Everything.
Okay.
That is true. I mean, I've got file cabinets in the house. I've got slat wall with my
I'm
grades.
starting to wonder if you started a show for the community or
No,
for yourself.
no.
Like
A little from column A, a little from column
you
B.
could do both. Shut the You could do both.
If I find a Tales 57, because somebody bought mine.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
He might be in this room, and it was actually, fun fact, the very first comic transaction that happened at Bell Works.
It
Yes.
is true. Very
Whoa,
first. Yep.
history.
Yep.
Yeah.
History.
I would go very, very quality over quantity for what I want, and it's just been hard to find. So I have a 9.0 white pages Hulk 181.
Okay,
It's the
nice.
jewel of my collection.
Yeah, yes.
So I need a 180,
And a 182.
9.0 white pages,
Yes.
and a 182,
Yeah.
9.0 white pages. So
Okay.
if I have a slabbed Bronze Age book, it has to be a 9.0 white pages or a 9.8 white pages.
Okay.
Has to be.
All right.
That is my. That
no
is like my.
94,
Nope,
996.
nope.
Okay.
You honestly, and I'm the worst collector in that way. Is that I would probably turn it down.
Sure.
Because if it's not in the run, it would be like.
Do you have a lot of 9.0s right now? Or is it just the Hulk? Like, if we,
no,
if
he
we
does.
I have an
upgrade your
ASM
Hulk-
129
Your-
9.0.
Isn't your GSX a 9.0? Didn't that come
No,
back
that
on?
one keeps me up at night because I think it's like a 6.5, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, you got-
good.
that- you
but I
got that
can't
in a-
afford a 9.0.
Right.
You got that in a long box of unbagged and boarded
No,
stuff.
I got it in a Tupperware bin.
Oh, Tupperware.
better.
Oh.
I'm way
Even
up
better.
on that one.
Yeah.
But so like I did so long of chasing the runs, you know what I mean, of DeCarlo era Batman and Bronze Age X-Men and everything from my childhood, which was like the Jim Lee era X-Men and things like that. That's my childhood right there. But so now I'm just like, all right, I want to get the hammers out of the way because most of these I can still find in a lot of the boxes, which I don't know about these guys, but every year at our show I say I'm going to go shopping, and then
No.
Oh,
the
no.
show's over.
Honestly, I think I bought maybe 5 books.
I
in-
barely
you
got
guys
all
are
the
try-
signatures
you're-
last year I wanted
The,
to.
the priority is running the show.
I've got like
my friend, so I get it.
$400 in booth
I
credit
get
with
it.
this guy
Yeah.
still that I'm like trying to.
Still, it's
Right.
been that just happened.
It's a long time.
It's been a month.
But
Yeah,
no,
that's
it's-
true.
and I think that yes. So to a degree, yes, I think that there is a very small element of self-servingness in the fact that we know that like we're dealing with good dealers. We know that we're dealing with good people. Every year we open up the show to new people as an opportunity because we don't want the same exact vendors every year.
Sure.
Yeah,
Like
we've
it's almost calculated in a way because if it's literally the same people, guests, vendors, and Artist Alley every year, where's the uniqueness
Right.
to that?
Sure.
Right.
Nope, I agree.
So
I agree.
we do want to have like a broil over with hopefully some of the same. So
Yeah.
yes, it is nice, and if we're lucky, if we can get a chance to breathe, maybe we hop over to Gary and Spiro's booth before the show opens. But rarely does that ever happen.
Last year, like I decided last year to start doing something for all of our special guests, get something signed by each one of them.
Yep.
All my free time last year was pretty much spent getting those signatures.
Yeah.
Running
And There's
around.
more guests this year.
There's even more this year.
Yeah, good luck.
6 the first year, 12 last year,
Yeah.
and I
How
think
many
we're
this
up.
year?
Well, if we announce another guest that we're working on, which is it's not finalized.
Okay.
We can't really. It's a good one.
Not
It's
till
a-
the ink's dried, but
right.
yeah,
I think this year we're up to 2021.
amazing.
So we doubled the first year to second year, and,
And
we're
almost
almost
did it again.
doubling.
You're just going
again.
exponential. That's
Yes.
good.
Hey, there's no money to be made. Bring in more people.
Bring in more
Yeah, bring
people.
in Walt and Louise
Cool.
Simonson, which happened
Well,
after the show
you-
was
you
announced
have
free.
to. You have
Oh
to.
God,
Dude,
yes.
oh my
You
God!
have
I would give anything to
I'm
prevent
yeah,
them
I'm
from, like, if I knew that something big was on the line and it was a difference of Walt and Wheezy coming and not coming, you have to do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
I'm such
You
a
called
big
me.
fan.
You're like, "Do we have room?" And I was like, "I'll make room."
We
Yeah.
have to, that's the only problem that we ever have is do we have room on the show? Because the booths at the show technically end up selling out 2 months ahead of time.
Right.
And then we have the reserved amount of booths that we use for the special guests. But then if someone cancels, which I think this year we've had, 2 to 3 vendor
Three. We've
cancellations?
had
It happens.
one
It
vendor,
happens.
2 artists.
But then we have a 30 booth waiting list.
Right.
For the show.
Yeah.
So just slide them in.
And
Yep.
when we moved upstairs, we lost booths.
did.
But those were all of our reserve booths. So
Right.
Yeah.
we moved upstairs and all our reserve was gone.
And that was the big key to things is that when the show moved upstairs here into the main atrium, the space that we were originally going to take was over by the basketball courts there. The problem with that is that it was about 50 to 60% of our current show.
Right.
Now, if you're a comic vendor and you make your living off of this stuff and you've been with us since the beginning, if we came to you and said, hey, but I just want to let you know, we can't fit you in the show anymore, so we're going to give you a refund, but all these other people get to stay.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
No, bad. Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
It would have killed our reputation.
it would have killed the reputation. So that is why the decision was we either cancel the show because moving it at this scale, this close to when everything was, not an option. We cancel the show or we fall on the sword.
Right.
So we chose to fall on the sword.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't sting all that much.
No, it's
It really doesn't.
and in
Good.
all honesty,
As long as I don't start doing a calculation of how much money in tickets we
Right. Do that after.
Stop
do that,
doing that.
Do that
Hey,
after. Put the show on first.
in all
I
honesty,
know.
we came up with the idea for the center atrium, the layout, and all the plans in 4 days.
Yeah.
It was less than 4 days, actually.
Thursday to Monday.
Thursday, Friday. Technically, okay, yeah. It was
We
3 or 4
pretty
days.
much had it ironed out by Saturday.
Yes.
Yes.
And we had to wait till Monday to send it in. to
Yes,
Delaware.
that's also true. And again, Stan, who please stop talking. I mean,
Yeah, seriously,
geez.
just shut
I'm
up.
not a talker.
He-
I'm
he-
behind the scenes guy.
He
all
is
the
a
time.
He's just here to look at. man.
wizard.
Yeah.
The layout
If
for
it
the
wasn't,
show.
if it wasn't for him, the floor plan would never work.
No, never in a million years.
I
would it
can
work.
take what he does on the floor plan and make it pretty for the
Yeah.
program, but if it wasn't for him, like he's literally an engineer for real in life. So if it wasn't for him calculating basically down to the inch of what we can fit in for fire code for aisles
Yeah.
and for, I don't know if we would have
No,
made
it
it.
never. It's
Credit where credit's due.
No.
Yes.
To that, good sir.
yes.
How many times have I reorganized this year?
Just for upstairs or overall.
We're probably in at least a dozen revisions.
Yeah.
at this
Expect to, the show's in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Expect to do more, I'm sure. So.
point. 11 days.
And
11
to,
days.
to anybody who might be listening who doesn't
1.5 weeks.
who doesn't know the full story, we can't go into it yet, but we will tell you that everything that you're going to see layout wise and for the show, plan out and everything has been done in under a month.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you do what you got to do, my
Yeah.
friends.
Adapt and evolve.
Yeah.
Excelsior, overcome.
Yeah.
Uh,
Real quick, you mentioned you will have a professional photographer for cosplayers. So come and cosplay.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
in cosplay.
absolutely.
Bring your best cosplay because you're gonna get this dude spends all his weekends photographing the biggest bands you can imagine
Yeah.
in Philly and Atlantic City,
Right.
and we hire him for the day to take shots around the convention for marketing purposes
Sure,
later
oh,
on.
absolutely.
But
Obviously.
we've had so many people reach out to us over the years about a cosplay contest, and we just didn't have space for it downstairs. So we said, all right, cosplay is a huge part of the Comic-Con world. We need to do something for the cosplayers. So we hire him, and I think we're doing... So now with the event taking place in the main atrium, which is where the photo shoot used to be, it's still going to be at 1 o'clock, but I believe we're going to either A, do it on the front steps, or we're B, going to do it a little bit further down the way.
Okay.
That's the one thing we haven't decided yet, but the free cosplay photo shoot is still happening at
Okay,
1 o'clock.
great.
Dave, and we'll announce that.
100%. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I know for any cosplayers out there, the lighting in here is incredible. The whole roof is
Yeah.
basically
some
a
of the
skylight.
Perfect
so
natural lighting.
It's great lighting.
Brandon does photography too, for bands and stuff on the side.
From Collectible Conservancy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. My voice is one of it.
Yeah, and just a backdrop. You're gonna want to come in cosplay and get photographed. Bottom line.
Yeah, these guys make me wear a Super Jersey shirt every year. I would love to come in cosplay, but I guess we have
Oh,
uniforms
for
one day.
God's sakes. Cosplay for you is a Hawaiian shirt.
Touche. Touche. How about you, Ming? Nobody's asking how you were doing.
I'm doing
how
great.
was New York?
New York was amazing.
Yeah, it looked like
yeah, but New York's over. New York's old news. It's all about Super Jersey Comic Expo.
And that's something that, for a little privileged, I guess, information, I didn't ask these guys if we could talk about first. Let's talk about the timing of our show.
Okay.
That we have fallen into the last 3 years.
Okay.
Is that we are always sandwiched between New York and Baltimore, or in last year, the same day as Rhode effing Island.
Okay.
And 2021, we were the same day as Rhode Island.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is a possibility, and we're going to put this out to the world and in the universe, and if it works out, it works out. If not, it doesn't. Is that the original show was supposed to take place in the very beginning of the spring because we wanted to be the first big show of the year
Yeah.
in the Northeast. Everybody's coming out of their hibernation dens. Everybody's, let's go outside now. We wanted to be that first show. COVID had other plans.
Yes.
So there is a possibility where we may take next fall off, and we're gonna wind down after this show.
Yeah.
I don't want to say fall in love. I don't want to say fall in love with the
Recharge,
show.
refresh.
Recharge.
Sure.
And then if we don't do it this same time next year, we're going to regroup and we're going to try and do it spring 25.
Cool. Awesome.
Breather.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
breather. And then we will decide if it stays a 1-day show, a 2-day show.
This has all come up because of what we've had to do the last
Every
few
year,
weeks.
man, it is okay. Well, you can't do it this way because Baltimore is the week before. You can't have this guest because
Not even that. It's just because of the move upstairs, and
Right.
basically we had to tear everything down to the studs and redesign the show from scratch.
Right. In addition to the timeline.
Right.
Yeah.
Do a basically replan this massive show that we've been working on for almost a year
Yeah.
in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, however long it is.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I actually have people asking here: is there anything available booth-wise? If you're a vendor, an artist,
No.
is there
Unfortunately,
anything?
no.
So I will say to everyone that asks about booths.
Okay.
I tell everyone go on the website and apply on the contact form. Right. What we do is we keep a very, very strict log of who applies and in the order that they reply.
Okay.
And there is always some level of attrition every year. Like I said, we've had 2 to 3, not usually many. However, once we see your application come in and you are approved, that then puts you into the bullpen in order. Number one, if a space becomes available,
Okay.
but also it guarantees you the opportunity for the following year. So we try not to tell people, yeah, sure, apply, do it. Listen, we're 3 guys running this whole convention. Every now and then an application slips through the cracks. It does. We're human. We try not to do it. But we tell everyone, even though the show is full, and even though there is a bit of a waiting list, still go on and apply because we want to get as many people approved as possible. So that way when we open booths for the next event, we send one email blast to everybody that's approved. And we're like, here you go. You have until this time to literally pick your booths, and then we're opening it up to the public.
Okay.
Off to the races.
Off to the races. And I feel like that has kept us fair every year.
No, I agree.
Like whether we want someone to come in or not, I'm not pointing you. I'm just saying like, I'm going to sneak. No. We try and keep it as literally humanly fair and amicable as possible. And then we try to be as communicative as possible with the vendors.
Because there's vendors this year that just were with us the last 2 years, but they didn't have time to go book it, and we sold out. And
Yeah.
And vice versa
as much
last
as I
year.
would love for them to be here, it's
Yeah.
you can only tell
is
people
what it
so
is,
many
yeah.
times.
And you know what?
Exactly.
Someday down the line, if, Super Jersey is the center, the turf, and the basketball court, and it's the whole damn thing, great. We'll open it up
Yep,
more.
totally.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
We don't want to be the convention that charges a vendor $1,500 for the weekend or charges a family $50 a head to get
Right.
in. We know that there's a happy middle ground
Yep.
with affordable and worth your time.
And profitable, yes.
And I think that we're doing a really good job of coming close to finding that.
I mean,
perfect little-
even before we had to go free for what the admission price was,
It was
prior-
$15.
$15, and with that guest list,
Yeah.
forget it.
Unheard of with that guest list.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like the future will have a lot. I think that, I don't know. What do you got? You think we're doing an all right job? I think we're doing okay.
I mean, yeah, you're
From-
3, and you've had to do a
We're
major
3-0,
pivot.
so 2-0 so far.
And,
Let's go 3-0.
and I think, and with it being free, what are you doing that weekend? Get over here. It's not going to cost you anything. There are no free Comic Cons anymore. No. None.
I
Free
absolutely
Comic Con
not.
that you can win an $800 comic.
Right. Yeah, you can
That's-
make money
yeah.
by coming.
and that's why I tell everyone, you get to meet the people who wrote the stories that are being made into all the shows.
I mean, you can meet.
Walt Simonson created the TVA.
Yeah.
There you go.
Created Mobius. Like, we're not going to have Owen Wilson at the show, but literally created the character. Like, that's the type of stuff that I love.
Also, Walt is a movie star. He was in the first Thor movie.
He was in the first Thor movie for like 6.5 seconds.
But
right?
he was on screen.
Him and Louise.
They were both there.
That's awesome.
But no, like I said, we're just trying to do something that we've always loved going to.
Yep.
And I've only known these guys going on 7 years, right, altogether.
You met me.
Manahawkin.
No, you met me before that.
Okay.
You met me. It was I actually remember this because I remember stuff like this, but not to take the garbage out.
Same.
Yeah. You met me. It was my very first show I ever set up at, which was 8.5 years ago. It was right at the start of comic trips.
Forked River?
Tom's River.
Tom's River.
Yes.
One of them little old
we were
hotel.
next to each other.
Yes. And I met you in 2014 at Tom's River, coincidentally. And then you and I became close friends. Started Middletown. And then I had the idea to bring this fool on.
Yep. He was by contract, though.
He was actually by contract to our website, and then we had the idea to rope him into this.
Yeah,
So now I don't get paid for it, and it's great.
This guy
Yeah,
knows
but
what he's talking about. So.
look who you get to meet because
I'm
of it.
putting you guys on retainer for 24. No, but what's nice is that we have like almost like the 6 degrees of New Jersey
Yes.
comic book. Like I'm from like 70 miles south of here.
Yeah.
Where he lives in
Tom's River.
and then you were always further up north.
He was in Keyport.
Well,
Now he's in
I grew up in
Hillstone.
Homedale, so this is my
Okay.
Yeah, it was
this
your
is my
hood,
yard.
man. Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I said, I think between all of us, we know enough people and we have good reputations, and that was the big kicker for trying to save the show. If we canceled people and told them, no, you can't stay, but these people get to stay, that wouldn't have been, we never would have recovered reputation.
I mean, we've, especially Stan and I, because we do set up at a lot of shows around the
They're
state.
vendors like multiple times a month.
Like the word of mouth and the anticipation from people, even like last January.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Asking, have you announced yet? When do you got?
Yeah.
When says when the booth's going to open up? And from people who have come up to us who aren't vendors that just are attendees that are excited about it. You need to get here. You're not going to get this experience
Even
someplace
if you've
else.
never been to a Comic-Con. If you're
This is
watching...
your chance. No risk, man.
No risk.
There is something for everybody.
You want to walk in and walk out, you can, but chances are you're going to want to stay.
I will say this, that after the show that we're going to email everyone and we're going to ask them how they felt it went. Like we're very big on hearing back from people. Like we try to send out a survey for all of our vendors and artists every year, and a survey to all of the ticket holders just to ask for their general feedback, because without all of those, there is no show. Right. So we take those feedback polls and we literally use them to build the next show on how we do. Can we guarantee that that's if you look closely in a lot of our verbiage, we say free for 23. Because,
yes.
Right.
Because
it's not going to be free. No,
I cannot guarantee whatsoever
Yeah.
that the show will ever be free again.
Right.
But we have discussed other like low cost or fairly affordable options. We just want to know from people honestly like how you felt, what did you think it was worth, and this and that, and then we take that show to start building the next one.
Yeah.
That's all.
Amazing.
We're just trying to do something cool, man. And luckily, against all odds, it seems this year it's worked out.
Honestly, a free show where you can get a $1 book and $10,000 books.
$10,000 book, yeah.
We've literally had that range sold.
I think our biggest book was $10,000, right?
That we know of. That was Farpoint and Middletown.
Yeah.
But given some of the stuff that's been in the room,
Yeah, the potential is there.
It's insane.
Potential is there. And we tell everyone, if I get messages, you guys get messages all the time because you're dealers. If you have an old box of comics sitting around that you inherited or you found or whatever,
bring it
the
over.
dealers here will literally buy them from you.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And if they don't, they'll tell you what it's worth, so
Exactly.
you don't get ripped off by someone else.
Exactly. Like this is a community, and
I would trust any single vendor at our show with my personal collection to broker or sell.
Yeah.
That's the way we want to do it.
except for that guy from Comic Collision.
Oh, he's terrible.
Yeah.
That guy.
For those that don't know, that's Stan.
Watch out for that guy.
Look out for that guy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
Cool.
yeah, man.
We're excited.
October 28th, Market Town. What are the hours?
10
10
to
a.m.
5.
10 a.m. to 5.
10 to
And
5.
That has been a bit of a point of contention because
so?
before it went free, there was early admission for VIPs.
Okay.
It is now free. There are no VIP tickets, even though we will still be giving the people that did buy VIP tickets tote bags, lanyards, and we have special edition enamel pins because they were already on order. What are we going to do with them?
Right.
So everybody is now in at 10 a.m. What we would like everybody to do, and hopefully there are some people that purchased tickets before we went free, that there will be a separate table out front. If you purchased VIP and general admission, line up in that line because we'll scoot you in right away, and then we start loading in all the frees.
Because we're almost at 2,000 people that have gotten tickets.
Yeah.
I think as of before coming into this room, it was 1,940 free tickets have already been claimed. And I will say this, there is going to be a cap.
Okay.
To be safe.
Okay. And so Super Jersey Expo to go sign up for your tickets, correct?
Yep,
Okay.
we are
There's a
superjerseyexpo.com.
all over.
Also, social media, Super Jersey Expo.
Yep. For sure.
A like and a follow is worth just as much money as a ticket, even though it won't, actually pay my mortgage. But it's valuable. We're just trying to grow, man. You know how it is. It's a very busy convention region here.
Oh yeah, big time.
And next year we'll determine whether we are at the tail end of it or if we're the beginning. We'll see.
Also, really quick,
go for it.
I could see on the chat that some of our vendors are here. I saw Steven Shaw from
Nice.
and I saw a couple of people.
Yep.
See,
Ming's,
that's the stuff I'm talking about.
Tobias is on here.
Yep. Tobias, these guys run an amazing
To the
show
vendors
with
that
integrity.
are on here that have been sharing stuff for us. Thank you.
We appreciate you guys.
We appreciate it very much.
Yeah, there's so much stuff on the internet. Everything now is just noise. So I hope that a little bit that with our marketing we kind of maybe stand out a bit. But it's hard, man. It's hard making your way in the internet.
I mean, just by being here, you guys stand out. Let's just put it
right.
that way.
Yep.
Yeah,
We were on a shared universe.
Yeah.
But,
Well, here, but in Bellworks
Again.
as well.
right.
so.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see you guys. I will be there.
I can't wait to actually see you.
I know.
At Super Jersey Comic.
I know, and I'll support you in any way I can. So,
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you guys again. October 28th, Saturday,
Right.
Homedale, New Jersey, 101 Crawford Corner Road, Bellworks, Super Jersey Comic Expo, returning for its third year. Congratulations,
We're
gentlemen.
3-0 and 3-0 this year. Right?
3-0.
You like that? We're 3-0.
Not
no?
even a little
Okay.
bit. Not
That's
even
right.
a little bit.
I tried.
no.
That's fine.
Awesome.
Free for 23. Is
Yeah,
fine.
free for 23 is good
Yeah.
enough.
And where comics come first.
And if you need to take a breather, studio will be open. So
Appreciate it.
We'll
Thank
be
you.
back here. So all right, see you guys soon.
Yep.
11 days, my friends. 11 days.
God.
God
go.
help me.
All right, see you guys later.